Yo, it's me, C-S-E-O-T-T. And welcome to Throwback Thursdays, where I take a look at a 90s film and get a review. And today I'm taking a look at Cruel Intentions, starring Ryan Phillippe, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Reese Witherspoon. Alright, so, history with this movie. I caught this movie, like most of the movies I wasn't supposed to watch when I was younger. It was on one of the higher up HBO channels or whatever. And it was halfway through. And normally you think like a preteen, teenager would be in a movie like this, but I really got into it. Especially the ending, which we'll get to. The ending is what sold this movie for me, and it still does. But the beginning of this film, though, is also kind of cool. You got Sebastian, played by Ryan Phillippe. He's in therapy with this woman. And this Swoozie Kurtz plays his therapist. And he's talking to her. And he leaves. And she gets a phone call from her daughter about Sebastian banging her. You know, so you told me you love me. And, you know, she's like, I'll kill you, you fucker, I'll kill you. They're like, what's... And then this girl walks up to him, right? This woman walks up to him. She's like, what's her problem? He goes, I don't know. I think she could use some therapy. And then he turns to her and he goes, I'm taking you to lunch. She's like, okay. Not, can I take you to lunch? Just, I'm taking you to lunch. Just, you know. So the story here is that two step-siblings, Sebastian and Catherine, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, make a bet. There's this new girl. Her name is Annette. She's played by Reese Witherspoon, and she's a virgin type. You know, she would never get up to anyone unless they were in love, unless, you know, married, stuff like that. And Sebastian bets that he can do the nasty with her. And if he can't, then Catherine gets his car. But if he can, he gets Catherine. If you know what I mean. They're step siblings. It's cool. It's cool. They're not blood related, and like, but like once it happens, it becomes taboo. She's like, "I'll give you the one thing that you wanted since our parents got married." He's like, "What's that?" And she's like, "I'll let you fuck me." He's like, "Nah." He's like, "Nah, no deal." He turns around to leave, and she stops, and she goes, "I'll let you put it anywhere." And he stops, turns around, and he goes, "You got a deal." Now, sex wasn't enough for him. Once he learns he can put it anywhere, there you go. But, of course, in a story like this, you know where it's going to go. He starts to seduce this girl. He ends up having feelings for this girl. And as such, he realizes that it would be safer to be apart from her than to be with her. He's a master manipulator, and once he tries to call off the bet, Catherine threatens to tell her everything. So he tells her that it was all just to get into bed with her because he wanted to see what it would be like, the version, and that he doesn't love her at all. And then Catherine turns around and tells him that the victim in this whole little scheme of hers was never Annette, but Sebastian. She wanted to make him squirm, to hurt him. That's what it all was. So he runs to Annette to tell her the truth. She won't see him, so he gives her his journal that contains all the information about Catherine. And that plays into the ending. And we're going to stop here because I'm going to go back a little bit. There's also a subplot with this new girl played by Selma Blair, and how Catherine is teaching her how to be with someone. And you know, there's the famous makeout scene that's parodied in like another teen movie and stuff. It comes from here. And they make out, and then she has a crush on her piano teacher, played by Sean Patrick Thomas. His name is Ronald. And then you know, they have a relationship. Well, also though, Sebastian on the side is also manipulating Selma Blair because he says he wants a kiss, but it's not here, it's there. And while we never actually see them do it or do anything like that, it's implied that they did have sex. Like, she shows up the next day to her mom's house, and her hair's all messed up. And her mom's like, "Where were you?" And she's like, "Shopping." Where the... You didn't buy anything when you were shopping, or what? But she's like, "Oh, well, come on, you gotta go." It's like, really? Yeah. So, we get to the climax of this film. And Sebastian, he's down and out on his luck. He's walking the streets. He's lost love of his life. He thinks his life is over. Believes his life to be over. And then Ronald comes in. Because Catherine has called Ronald, that's Sean Patrick Thomas's character, and told him that he hit Catherine. Sebastian hit Catherine, and then he also did it with Cecile. I remember her name. That's her name. Which he did do it with Cecile. At least it's, hinted at. All we know is that fellatio. But anyway, they get into a fight. And this is now during the daytime. They get into a fight. They're going back and forth. And then Annette gets involved. She gets knocked down. And this car is coming towards her. And Sebastian sees this, pushes her out of the way, and gets hit by the car. Annette runs over to him. They confess their love for each other. This makes Ronald realize that Catherine was lying. And Sebastian dies. But it's not over there. Because now we go to Sebastian's funeral. And my God, there's Catherine get her comeuppance. She's in the bathroom. Like, there's a scene in the beginning of this film where she says that whenever she feels like her life is too much, she pulls out this little cross and she turns to God. Well, inside that cross is actually cocaine. And we see her in the bathroom, doing that. And then Annette comes out of the bathroom stall. They talk to each other because they don't technically know each other, but they know of each other, you know what I mean? And so now, Catherine has to give the eulogy for Simon. Sebastian. Where did I get Simon from? Sebastian, right? Sebastian. Where did I get Simon from? Oh, Sebastian. At Sebastian's funeral, she has to give the eulogy. And then someone runs in with the little book thing, starts showing people, everyone's running out. And she's like, "What is so important here?" And she goes out, and it turns out that Annette and Cecile have printed out, made copies of Sebastian's journal, diary, whatever, with all the information on everything that Catherine has done, and has printed it out and shown everybody, including the priest who was at that place, at the meeting where she was talking. Or that was just because they show in the thing that she has a coke addiction, and they pull it out. So so she's completely humiliated, and it ends with Annette driving off to the song "Bittersweet Symphony" by The Verve. I love that song. I was rocking out to it. This movie is awesome. From the acting is great. From Ryan Phillippe and Sarah Michelle Gellar, all on point. The acting is great. The characters are great. I love this movie. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Absolutely love this film. Kevin, it took me so long to take a look at this. It's been a while since I watched it. Bought this at a pawn shop. I don't think I've even watched it once since I bought this, but there it is, 9 out of 10. So what are your thoughts on Cruel Intentions? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty. I'll see you in the next one.